Is robotics the answer to all questions? This week I was at my disruption training, and one of the things that we were covering was this about how do we make sure a system works smoother and run a lot better. And one of the things that came up was this robotics, where you have a system that is interacting on behalf of different users to do different kind of integration. And one guy was saying, well, this is mostly like putting duct tape on your system to just make sure they run together in their different silos. And that made me think, because that's a lot of the things that we're doing, but maybe we're doing it in the integration world a little different than just robotics. So I was just, well, so one of the big things is you got disruption. And disruption means that some company will figure out how to be better at what you're doing than you are, because they can start from scratch. They don't have any legacy, systems or companies, and they can just use computers to run something that will disrupt your business. So this would be the Kodak moment thing. And one of the things there would be, well, they have one system they can do all the different things in, whereas you as an SAP customer most likely would probably have quite a number of different systems to do all the different business critical things that you need in your process to make it work. And there's different ways that you can solve this in. So I was just thinking there's like 4 different layers in this model. So in the bottom layer we would have the system. So this would be a UAP system. We were talking about the module 2, module 1, module 2 system, where you got the ERP system. That's the module 1 where you're not supposed to be doing any changes, and you got the module 2 where you can do a lot more innovation and try to figure out how do we get more customers in dealing with these things. But both of these, well, at least the model 1 would be your systems, and you could then have multiple different systems, and the better you're able to interact with them internally or move functionality into it, the better, and maybe the less legacy there will be into it. Next layer would be integration, and in integration you would have the ability to call the APIs of the different systems and really use the data sources and create a lot more efficient integration, high performance, when you have 2 systems that just need to be integrated on a process level. Then the third level would be the robotics, where you'd have some systems that is interacting on behalf of users, going down to the system, fetching the data and updating into another system. And depending on how much the system changes and how prone it is, it may be a okay solution, but it's still a way to make sure that you skip upgrading the systems until something else happens. And then the 4th solution would be to put people on it. So you could get a shared service center in India or wherever, where the cost is cheaper and you can get a lot of people to replicate the data between the different systems. So this would also be a valid option in some cases, though I would say it's would then mean that your system is some kind broken if you have to put more people on to solve it. But I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. How do you see robotics? Is this a good thing in integration, or is it just something that, as an API that we need to call and make sure, okay, in some cases we'll call an API, some cases we'll call a Barbie, an iDoc, and a robotics system, because that's the only way to interact properly with this systems. So please reply in the comments your thoughts on this. I'd like to hear them. Thanks!